Welcome back to the show, everybody. Love is in the air, and when you've been married for a while, it can be easy to forget your manners. Not for me. I'm a joy to live with. Kendall, I'm sorry, was there a problem? Please welcome back to the show our etiquette expert from the St. Paul Hotel, the lovely Julie Frantz. Good morning. Welcome back, Julie.
Good morning, and welcome from chilly Forest Lake. A minus 13 out here today.
Well, Julie, let me start. You know me. I try to start with a compliment if I know the guest, and I know you. You have the reputation around here that you walk the walk and you talk the talk, because I need our viewers to know Julie is the only guest that at the conclusion of every one of her segments sends us a thank you card to the staff. And that means a lot to me because the staff works hard. And sometimes we get people on the show that don't appreciate the work that they do and the value of our show. You are not one of them, and that means a great deal to me. So thank you.
You are welcome, and you'll probably get another note.
Perfect. Jeff is waiting for it, actually. So, okay, couples. Let's get to couples and relationships first. Sure. Let me ask you one of the questions here. How do you divide household chores and childcare in a productive way, a constructive way?
They need to be divided somewhat equally, and that will look different for every couple. Now, if you need to literally make a list of all the things to do, and then sometimes I'll look at my husband Gary and say, what would you like to do? And then you try to divide them equally. Never should your house look like this, where one person is running around crazy trying to do all these things, and the other one is lounging with a remote control, not a care in the world. Our response should always be, you look busy. How can I help you? And again, try to divide it. Now, I just want to say this also. When Gary and I decided that we would start a family, we sat down and we talked, and we both came to the same decision that I would stay at home and he would go to work. Now, because I stayed at home, my goal was to try to do as much as I could in taking care of the children, the house, other obligations, that when Gary came home, he could enjoy his family. And might I say, that worked well for many, many years. It's all based on consideration and respect. Okay. You are a team.
Now, but let me ask you this. Okay, so let me flip that. Here's a little add-on to that scenario. How do you, in a very eloquent and not kind of witchy way, what do you say to that spouse that routinely is the spouse on the couch with the remote while you're busy? How do you address that spouse?
You do need to address it. That's called an elephant in the room. And if you don't take care of those little areas that are causing stress within you and you keep pushing them down, they will explode. And can I tell you, it is better to deal with those right at the get-go than let them build up. And so here's what we can do. It's called conflict resolution. When you are not angry so that you will explode and say things that you will regret, because again, we cannot take words back. It's just like toothpaste. Once you squeeze it out, there's no putting the toothpaste back. Once you say mean, unkind things, you can't take them back. So you need to be calm. And you need to say, can we sit down in about an hour and discuss some things? And then you use I words. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I can't keep up with it. And then you let them talk and you try to come to a resolution. Now, there are some marriages where people just can't see it. And so you might need to go visit a counselor. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. Going to a counselor is much more inexpensive than a divorce lawyer.
You heard it here. So we covered etiquette for just a little bit for couples in a relationship. But after the break, etiquette for dating. More with our dear friend Julie when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. And right about now, she's writing that thank you card. Oh, my goodness. We sure do have fun here. Welcome back. We're with etiquette expert from the St. Paul Hotel, our good friend, Julie Frantz, Julie, I can't wait to have you back when we can have people in the studio. You're one of my favorites. I just miss you terribly. So thank you.
I look forward to it.
Okay, let's talk about couples who are dating rules for 2021. Let's start with this one. Julie, in 2021, who asks who out, and then who should pay?
Anyone can ask anyone out. That's certainly one of the rules that have changed since I grew up. And then if you are the one that has planned the date, you will pay. It's just as if I was asking another couple out, be very careful how you word it. But in dating, if you're asking somebody out and you've got something planned, then the first date, you are obligated to pick up the tab. After that, you can certainly negotiate depending upon how it goes, but initially you should pay.
Okay. I think we are in a culture that has a hard time saying no. I think we are taught, I think a lot of us, like, oh, go say goodbye, go hug Uncle Joe. Well, I don't want to, he's creepy. I think we have a hard time saying no. On that, how do we politely decline an invite for a date?
Thank you so much for asking, but I have other plans. And if I don't follow that up by saying, but I'm available next Friday or Saturday, that means I am not interested. But I have not attacked their character. I have not looked at them and said, who do you think you are? Are you kidding me? We are never rude or unkind. It took a lot of courage for that person to ask. And so just be kind and just simply say, thanks for asking, but I have other plans.
You hear that, Wendy Williams? Anyway, a companion question to that. How do you end a relationship? I know, and let me acknowledge, there's a lot of variables. This is a very general question, but what are the general parameters for etiquette?
Right. General rules are you should meet in person. Very unkind to send a text, email, too impersonal. If you have had a relationship with this person, they deserve to see you face to face. Be careful the place you choose so that if the person does become distraught, they won't be embarrassed. But again, you want to have a safe environment where they can kind of unleash their feelings. Do not attack the person. Don't go through a litany of lists of things that bugged you about them. That's not necessary. You can just say something very kind to say, I don't think that our lives are moving in the same direction. I've enjoyed the time with you, but I just don't feel like we should be moving forward. Be kind and then follow through. Don't keep that person dangling. If you're going to end it, then end it.
And don't you think, and this sounds like something very Oprah and very woo-woo and greeting card, but, there's a way to look at it, too, and I just had this conversation with a friend of mine. Every relationship is really, even if it ends and it doesn't end quite so well, it's still a learning opportunity, right, for Julie, right, for future relationships. You can take the lessons from that relationship and apply them to a future relationship and hopefully have better luck. Am I right on that?
Absolutely. And look at it like this. You have met another human being, a one-of-a-kind person. And as you said, Jason, you take away things that relationship gave you and build it for, well, it's refining now what I'm really looking for.
We're talking about the endings. Let's talk about the beginnings. What, in your opinion, in 2021, what are some good first date options, especially in the year we're living in now?
Well, first of all, I have to say this is interesting as I prepared for your show. Of course, online dating sites have received record amounts of people, and it's causing people to communicate more rather than just, meeting somewhere and moving on to other things. It's causing them to communicate more. And so once they have the talk about where are you as far as your comfort with COVID, then you can decide what the next place is that you want to meet. Now, again, just because I do work there and I love the hotel, I will tell you afternoon tea at the St. Paul Hotel would be my first pick if you're going out on a date. It's classy, it's elegant, it's a public place, it's 2 hours. Don't ever do a first date that's a day long, because if things are going south early on, you're stuck for a very long time. So you want a limited amount of time. That's the St. Paul Hotel afternoon tea. All decisions have been made. You're going to be served. You can just have conversation. That's how you get to know somebody. And please put that stupid phone away and don't look at it.
Atta girl. See, I knew the Julie would come out that we love. Julie, my last question. I don't know if you heard this at the beginning of the show, but producer Ted's getting ready to ask out Wendy Williams on a date.
I was watching.
Okay. What is your advice for Ted, who is successful in his own right, but he's getting ready to ask out a woman, a very accomplished woman that he could be intimidated by? What is your advice for young Ted?
Ted, do not be intimidated. You've got it all going on. You got the snowblower, you got the veggie machine. She'll be all over you, Ted.
Julie, did you have to mention the veggie machine? Because it's only gonna encourage this behavior.
As a fellow cook, I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, we all did, Julie. Julie, thank you so much. It's always a delight having you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you. To learn more about Julie, check out her website, everydayetiquette.com. And for more on etiquette and classes and other events, it's a jewel of St. Paul, the St. Paul Hotel. Go to stpaulhotel.com. As we say, support local. Go support Julie.